Well, hey there. So it's Tuesday. I went racing Saturday. I haven't posted the video yet because I've been a little reluctant to post the video because, well, with as much stuff as I've been breaking lately, I'm afraid it makes me look like a bigger idiot than I really am. So that gives you a little clue as to how things went there. So before we get much farther on it, yeah, that's a compression test I ran after I got home, after 3 passes. And there's where we are right now. So as you can see, things did not go well, which has been pretty par for the course lately. But anyway, if you're still interested, stick around and watch the video for whatever it's worth. Thanks. Good morning. Well, as you can see, we're on the way to the racetrack. It was an ordeal getting it running. It fought me much more than normal. I mean, a lot more than normal. So we got it running. Sounds pretty good. Alright, so we got one time run. I was 20. It didn't feel stellar when I let go of it, so I'm not worried about that. Went 129 60 foot. Left hard. It hasn't left that hard since last November. This motor makes more torque, that's for sure. It run pretty good. It popped and banged going through the lights, and I'm not sure if it ran out of fuel, if it was lean, or if it was on the rev limiter. So we changed all of it. If it was on the rev limiter, turning the chip up ain't gonna hurt anything. If it wasn't on the rev limiter, turning the chip up ain't gonna hurt anything. Turn the fuel pressure up a pound. I had turned it down a while back because and I put a little jet to it. Alright, so it was an ordeal this week. Didn't end well. The car was breaking up. It broke up going through the lights the first pass. I thought it was against the rev limiter because I turned the rev limiter down with the stock rod motor because I didn't want to spin it as high. Then I thought, well, maybe it was also fuel. Maybe it was lean. I didn't have the EGT first pass because when I got up the staging lanes and turned the EGT gauge on, it said low battery. I'm like, well, okay, well, we'll just go without. So I made that pass, came back, put a new battery in the EGT, turned the fuel pressure up, put a little jet in the carburetor, and changed the high side chip. Went up for the second pass, and right before the mile-an-hour cone, where it started to break up before, and it just broke up, it just missed. This time, as soon as it started to miss, it went, brrr, and I went, oh shit, and I lifted. I thought, that's no good, that's valve float. So I come back, listen for valve train noise to see if there was any valve train noise, and couldn't. It seemed a little noisy on one side, so I pulled the valve cover off and I checked all the lash on that side, and it was fine. burnt the hell out of my hands. I had one glove, and it's just a disaster. So they called us up for first round. So I put a 631 on it because it went 30 with a 1, then went 30 with a 7, just completely lifting at the mile-an-hour cone. And I thought, well, fine. If it wants to go 30, lifting at the mile-an-hour cone, we'll just run it down till it goes, and then we'll just lift. And so my man red lit. I think the tree malfunctioned on him. He thinks he staged too shallow. I think the tree malfunctioned. He red lit, so I run it out, and as soon as it left, I knew it wasn't leaving us. It wasn't running as hard. First pass, it went 129.9, 60 foot. Second pass, it went 129.8, 60 foot. First round, it went 135, 60 foot. That's a big difference, and you can feel that in the seat. So I knew it wasn't running as hard. So it never missed going down the racetrack, but it just didn't make any power either. So came back, and I was getting stuff ready for next round since I had won, and I got to thinking, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I can't win the race like this, because it went 6:38. But I can't win the race with it doing this. There is a lot of potential to hurt the motor with it doing this. It still runs. We can just load it up and go home and buy valve springs. Come back next weekend. But okay, that's the smart thing to do. We've got a running motor. We can put valve springs on it. So I picked all my stuff up, started the car, didn't pay any attention, just fired it up, drove it up on the trailer, and when I shut it off, it went poof out the driver's side exhaust pipe. And I thought, that was a weird noise. So I started to spin it over, and I went, oh, fuck. So it's got a light cylinder. My guess is it tagged an exhaust valve, and it probably has a bent exhaust valve. That means the head's got to come off. I could have changed springs with it on the car. It's not a fun job, but I've done it before. But if it's got a bent exhaust valve, the head's got to come off. I'm tired. I fought with that thing all week. Thanks for watching. It's kind of a train wreck, ain't it?